Hello, hello, it's June Olson with Junebug Creations, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you live from Kalispell, Montana. And today is Check This Out Live because, oh my gosh, you are going to love this. I know I'm going to love it. We'll just see if I can avoid burnt fingers because we needed the hot glue gun. And if you've been watching me for any length of time, you know that this isn't necessarily my favorite tool in the craft room because I tend to burn my fingers. So I've got my take your pick tool ready. Now it's ready to see if it can help me out. So maybe I can avoid some burnt fingers. We'll see how it goes. This is going to be a fun hat to make, and I can't wait to put it on and see what it looks like. I'm a little bit nervous. I have to be honest. I'm totally nervous because of the hot glue thing. That's just not my favorite tool in this craft room. But we're going to do it anyways because it is too adorable to miss. All right. So the question was, because I've already forgotten, let me just double check. When it comes to Halloween, which do you enjoy more? The costumes, the treats, or all the fun decorations? I love doing the decorations. Yes, I like looking at the costumes that the kids wear when they come to the house, and I'm actually in a neighborhood now, so I'm really hoping for some adorable costumes coming to the door. I got to ask some of the neighbors how many trick-or-treaters do they usually have so I can make sure I'm prepared with candy. And I'll be wearing my witch's hat when I answer that door. Let's go ahead and switch and get started because this is going to take us a little while to do. So it comes in this box. I've already pulled some things out so that you didn't have to sit and watch me. So here are our no-fail instructions. We're going to prove that today, right? Woo-wee. All right, and so I've already popped out all of these things because I figured you really didn't need to watch me do it. But I just wanted to show you this one. It's corrugated, and I'm going to keep this because I'm going to turn this into a cute card because it just looks really cool. But the rest of these, we can go ahead and recycle. All right, so the hat came in this bag, and I had shown you that last week or when I did the unboxing, and it kind of twists up to go small and flat. Once you decorate it, obviously you won't be able to do that anymore, but it did come in this bag like that. I took it out of there, and then I wanted to go ahead and take out our wire. We'll have that ready to go. And then we have a dauber to go with our paint. I figured it out. That's paint. All right, so we have, we have our eyeball, not just a googly eye, but an eyeball. So we're going to set that right there. We have these two stick pens. We'll find out what that's all about. We have our dauber and our paint. This should be interesting. And then we have some ribbon and some gauze here. All right, here we go. Just move all this out of the way. So we have some ribbon here. It's gold. It's got gold stars on it, and it's black. Then we have some black gingham, and then we have some white. Oh, that looks like it has spiders on it. You see that? That looks like little spiders. And then we have our piece of gauze here. All right, so let's see. Let's figure this out. Here we go. Nice big old long piece of gauze. So we'll get to that when we get to that. I'm going to put those over there. We're going to put this over here and this over here. I'm going to put this out of the way, but I am going to be using it. We did also have some chipboard in there. Not that we need to use it right now. So here are, I just touched the glue gun with my finger on accident. All right, so here are our 3 cards, all right, that we have there. And then we have these 2 long pieces, and they are already scored. You can see that they're already scored for us. So 2 big old long pieces there. Then we have our spider web and our 31. We have our 3 starbursts right there, and then we have our flower pieces. We have our stars, all these stars right here. I don't know why they look black on here, because they're not black. So I don't, here we're supposed to be adding some color, but they're not black. So I'm not sure if they messed that up, but that's okay. We'll make it work. We have these 3 things that I'm not 100% sure what they're supposed to look like or be. I know you roll them up. We have some more starbursts. We have some black circles. And we have 2 icky spiders. They really look icky. And then, of course, we have our hat. Woo. Our hat. All right, so let's get started with this. Jump right in. There is a video. I didn't watch the video. You are welcome to watch the video. It might help things. I didn't think about it until just before this started, so we're not watching the video. So we're starting off. We're going to move this stuff out of the way because it looks like we are starting off with the wire. So we're going to move these things out of the way, and then it looks like we're going to be doing some of the painting. Actually, you know what? I think we're going to do the painting first because the wire doesn't have to dry the way the painting does. So you can see here, we're going to be using our dauber, we're going to be using this paint, and we're going to be distressing all of these things. All right, it looks like the flowers. So the stars, we'll do some distressing, but they've already got that color, so I'm not sure. Let's look at the picture real quick. Yeah, so I don't know, somehow they have the colors wrong in here, but we'll do a little distressing on there. We're going to distress this. We're going to do the center of this with it, some edges on the cards and some on the flowers. So let's do that first. Here is our paint. And I'm going to go ahead and put my glasses on. And we'll do some paint on here. Oh, it's a coppery color. All right, I'm going to start with the cards. Actually, I think I'm going to start with these. So I feel like I need to dab it down on something. Maybe we'll dab it down there. Let's just try this one first. I haven't done this, folks, so we're going to learn together. So I'm just going to swirl this around in here. Like this. All right, it is coppery. So maybe we'll start with the stars. They're kind of coppery too. So we'll just give the stars a little more coppery look. And all right. Yep, this is new to me. So we'll just jump right in and see what we can do. Those already look pretty shiny to me, so I'm not sure I understand the point of doing those stars. So we won't do as much on the stars. There we go. There we go. All right. Maybe they thought the black was too much black, and so they didn't want to do that. I'm just doing little bits of the stars, not a ton, because it seems to be like it's blending in to it. And that doesn't make sense to me because you really can't see it, right? Can you see it? I don't really see the blending of it. So we'll just stick these over here. They already did the copper and they're already kind of shiny. All right, so we have this, the center there, and we are doing the cards. There we go. I'm getting a little bit of shiny on me. All right, so we're just doing a little bit of card, just kind of distressing it. Like that. I'm just kind of looking at it and doing the edges. And then it's going to need some time to dry. That's why we decided to do this first, so it has a chance to dry. I'll do a little bit more. There we go. So we're just squeezing it out, and then just let's see. So they've got some big swipes on here. There we go. So you can actually see the copper, and it kind of gives it an old look as well by doing that. Oh, you can see it shine. There you go. You can see it shine a little bit. All right, so we have the card, and we have the next card. All right, here we go. Do some distressing. We can like bring it up onto the card a little bit so there's a little bit more. There we go. There we go. So now you can see that like that. All right, let's see. What else are we distressing? We are distressing the flowers. All right, here we go. So some of them a little bit more than others. Here we go. All right. So here we go. Are we doing all of them? 1, 2. I think so. Let me look. Yep, they're all distressed. So here we go. These are not distressed, so I'm going to move them out of the way. So this is a coppery color. The wire is coppery too, so that makes sense. Not a color you would always associate with Halloween, so it's kind of cool that they've done that. They've done it a little bit different with the coppery color. I didn't get much. Now it soaks in, so sometimes you can use what's soaked in as well. And trying not to get it like solidly covered, but that first one is a little bit tough. There we go. And I trust this dries fairly quick, so I'm just using what's already on here to do the rest of these petals, because it's pretty well soaked in and it's giving off that coppery look, you can see. And you don't want them all uniform, you want them a little different. All right, here we go. Last flower. Kind of coming in from the sides too. There we go. So some have a little more, some have a little less. And then we have these to do. And they look pretty well done. So we're going to give them a little bit more. Right. And it looks like they're kind of all over. So we'll keep going. Boy, if you can hear the trash truck, sorry about that. That window is open right now for fresh air. Had to spend a few weeks without fresh air because of the fires, because of all the smoke, that I am enjoying having my windows open right now. All right, so let's get this on there, making it look distressed. And they've got it pretty high up into there. So it's really, you can see here all the color. All right, so they've got it really, really in there, really looking kind of old. There we go. Like that. Oops. All right. Go on to the next one. Let that dry. Now, do you have to have it perfectly like theirs? No, you don't have to have it perfectly like theirs. All right. You do it. You do you. You do it the way you feel comfortable doing it. You'll see what the whole thing is supposed to look like here when I'm done. So then you have an idea of how much or how little you really want to do with this. Okay, I'm just using dauber to kind of smush it on there when it's fresh on there. So the more you put on, the longer it's going to take to dry. So you can give that a consideration thing. And we'll see if it doesn't dry in time to make this something we can do in one live, then we'll just let it dry and I'll come back and finish the hat next week. Okay, well, it'll just be a two-part live so that I don't have to, so you don't have to sit on here for hours because we definitely don't want that. I value your time, and I know that you don't necessarily want to sit. Now, if you're watching this on replay, you could always fast forward through all this and see if we got the hat made. All right. So just doing some swipes and smears. All right. So that looks pretty good. This is a little bit faint over here. All right. So let's see. Let's put that away. And now we have some fun copper glitter, copper shiny paint for future Halloween projects. All right, so let's make sure we did the stars, although we didn't quite get all of them. Looks like I missed that one. They all have something on it to give them a little extra sparkle. There we go. Got my thumb. All right, but thank goodness we have our glass mat chamois thing, so I can wipe my hands off with that. Time to get this baby wet again. It's just lightly damp. All right, so we got our 3 cards done. We got our spider web done, and to me it looks like just that center. We got the stars done, we got those done, and we got our flowers done. All right, that's all I see for that. So I'm going to move this aside and we'll bring in the hat and do the wire. All right, so we're going to move this. Oh, and we also have these gems and these black, black whatchamacallits, black dimensionals. So here is our hat. All right, it's a little bit wobbly because and warped and crinkled. That's why I had taken it out so it would have a couple days. So when you get your kit, you might want to take the hat out and let it kind of stretch out a bit so it's not super crinkled. So we're going to start here with the wire. It's going to go get wrapped around and then glued up at the top. So I'm going to set that there. We're going to get out our wire right here. Oh, I don't want to break my nail. All right, do I have some pliers? I have some pliers for wire. Pliers for wire. So I'm going to go ahead. These are for looping it around, but it still works, woo, to grab that. All right, which is why. All right, so there's that. Oh, I might hold on to that for future. That could be something useful. It's one of those things. All right, so I'm going to, is there a hole in the top? Trying to see if there's a hole in the top to where this could go down in it. Let's see. It is bent, so they're going to use this, and you're going to hot glue it that way. But we need to untangle it. All right. We're going to untangle it. We got to make it a little unbent. So you want to kind of pull it out. It's like a slinky. How many of you remember Slinky? Woo. All right, here we go. There we go. It's like a slinky, but what we want to do is we want to make the wire bigger. So we need to kind of stretch it out like this. So I'm just pulling it along and stretching it out a bit. Okay, so we want to stretch it out because it's going to go around the base of the hat, and you don't want it to be super tight because you don't want it to smother it. So I'm just kind of pulling on it to make it a little bit less tight, kind of almost bending it the wrong way, the opposite direction, so that it doesn't, so it's not so tight. All right, there. So now it is wider than it was. We're going to see about putting it on here. I'm going to use that end up there. All right, so we want some there. Oops, my stars came off. And there we go. We're going to, I wonder if we're supposed to use this whole thing. All right, so I'm going to unbend this, since it's not like there's a hole in it. All right, so we have 1, 2 on the bottom, and it's going to come around to the top. All right, it doesn't say clip it off. So you're having 2 on the bottom like this. And then, all right, let's look at the front picture. I think they gave you some extra. I think we're going to be clipping it off. I don't know where my wire clippers are, but I do have these button clippers. So we have this down at the bottom, this coming around up here, like that. Woo! All right, this might need to be stretched out a little bit more because this is going all down there. All right, let's try this again. Okay, we have this. We're going to end up gluing that down there. All right, I suppose we should learn to watch the video. Let's see. I think we can do this. I think we can do this. All right, so here we go. Ah, you know what? We're going to bend this around here. So it would be good to have some wire pliers. Something like that to kind of hold it. And then it's got 2 more rings around it. It's got 2 rings around it here. And wonder if they had the same trouble. I'm gonna say they probably did have some issues with the wire if they got it off that same thing. So we're gonna curl this. All right, here we go. All right, this, and I thought it was just going to be the glue gun. That's my issue. It's looking like it's not the only issue here. All right, so we're twisting that. And see, I got to fold this down because I don't want it to poke anything. So it's not actual wire, it's painted wire, it looks like. So it's not actual copper wire. It's painted. All right. I'm not sure I want to cut it. Kind of like the idea of having all that wire. Here we go. Oh, that's just not going to work though. Okay, so if this gets glued down here, this comes up and around, you really have a little too much. So we're just gonna cut that off. We're gonna bend this. Bend this over. All right, so we can glue that to that, like that. Wow. Okay, and I was worried about the wire, the glue gun. The glue gun is definitely not the issue today. After this, I think the glue gun's gonna be maybe a better friend. I feel like there's a hole in there. Is there a hole in there? Here we go. Okay. So we will It doesn't even show, it only shows glue at the top. All right, we'll put the glue at the top. We'll put the glue at the top of the hat. I don't know, maybe I should have done a practice one before I did this for you all. Or just watch the video, right? Yeah. Okay, I recommend you watch the video if I make a total disaster of this. But I feel like it needs to be tacked down. Maybe as we go, it'll stay down. Let's have a look. All right. We're just going to leave that like that. I'm going to set it over here. Bring my chair in. I'm going to set it over here. And we're going to stop with this for a moment. We're going to go back over here to these guys. Let's see. Are they dry? They are dry enough to work with. Okay. Yep, they are. Okay. So we did all that. We did all this. Now we're going to put these two together. We're going to put two of them together like this so that we have three of them. It's saying to use the glue, the dimensionals. So let's go ahead and do this part. All right, here we go. We're going to use dimensionals to put these together. So we're going to have one here, one here, and one here, because we're going to have three flowers like that. All right, so this one we'll do right here like that. This one we'll do right there like that. And this one will go here like that. All right, and then we have, so we have those. Then we're using, well, they're using hot glue. I'm going to use our regular glue because it's paper. Then we have our green. All right, here we go. Here we go. We have our green. And it's going to get glued onto here. So we have our three flowers. And like that. All right, let's see. So then we have, oops, like this. And then we have these black ones that go on there as well. All right. So here we go, like this. Like that. And we have another one over here. Like this. All right. And then we have this one. There we go. All right, here we go. Okay, so then we have our gems that go on two of them in the center. Here we go, and they are adhesive backed. Oop, here we go. Whoop. There we go. So they are adhesive backed. And then the other one will be the eyeball. So here we go. All right. Oh, I'm not getting these centered very well. There we go. And then we have the eyeball that, okay, here we go. Like this. There we go. So we have an eyeball on one of them. Oh no, the eyeball doesn't go on. Does the eyeball go on yet? Oh no, the eyeballs. I jumped the gun with these. Hold on, that's what those other things are for. All right, so here we go. We're just gonna lay these over here. Okay, so this is turning into a crazy kit, huh? All right, so this one, we're going to roll these. So I'm going to draw my thumbnail along it, see how it helps it curl already. So we're going to curl these. All right, like this. And then we're going to use our thumbnail. You can use your thumbnail, you can use your bone folder, whatever you need to curl these. And then we're going to, let's see. I think they're going to curl up this way. They look like they're curled pretty tight. So we're going to roll them up. Roll it up. It looks like the eyes sit on top of that. So we're going to roll it up like that. Maybe it's even more so. All right, let's keep going. This is why you watch the video that Stampin' Up! Puts on, right? So that you aren't messing it up the way I am. And we'll see how this works. Roll it up like this. I keep looking to see if the picture. Okay, so the eye is going in the picture or inside this. I think it sits there like this. All right. Whoop. Is that how that goes? The inside? All right, so we're going to yeah, so this goes up inside there to kind of hold it together like that. Okay. So we're going to hold that in there like that. So that holds that one in there. All right, so like that. Like that. And then it's going to get with the hot glue gun, because it's going around its edges. We're going to do that and stick it down. All right. So it's going to stick down like that. All right. One down. Two more to go. All right. Here we go. Whew. Who designed this baby? All right. So we're going to twist it, twist it, twist it. And this one, there we go, can be a little wider because it's going to have that bigger eyeball in it versus those gems, or one of them needs to be a little wider to have that eyeball in it. So I'm going to go ahead, instead of using hot glue, I'm going to use my multi-purpose glue for this part. And we'll be sticking that gem right down in there. We'll definitely need our take your pick tool for that. I'm going to wait to glue that one down to see how small I get this one. Let's see. Here we go. So, are your decorations handmade, or are your decorations store-bought, or are they a combination? Mine tend to be for the holidays, whether it's Thanksgiving, Christmas, Halloween, Easter, and Valentine's, whatever the holidays are, or whatever the times are that I decorate. And I used to decorate a lot more when I was a teacher. Do you decorate for every month? I used to. I don't as much anymore because my son is gone. So that one's a little bigger. So we're going to put this one over here on this edge. There we go. Come on. It's almost time to put a new stick in. There we go. Woo. All right. So we have this one. We're going to put here. And then we'll do this one. There we go. Like that. We'll put that one in the center there. These are some funky flowers, but it is Halloween, so there would be funky flowers. So it looks like the gems. So it looks like the gems sit inside these centers. So we're going to take our Take Your Pick tool and see if we can drop those down in there. Did it flip over? It flipped over. We need it shiny side up. Shiny side up, please. All right, let's put a dab of the hot glue on it. There we go. Ah! Or not. There we go. This is just so not cooperating for me today, is it? Ah, there we go. Should have just stuck with the sticky side. All right, we're going to let this cool and peel off. And peel off. All right, that took a little bit of the paint off, but we can always add some more paint on, right? All right. Oh, here we go. Let's put the glue down in there. Here we go. Stick it to there. Stick it down in there. Come on. There we go. Shiny side up. Whew! That one took a little bit of work. All right. Let's try that again. We'll do, pull off that. We'll do a little bit more here and loosen it. We'll stick this guy to it. There we go. Stick a little bit of glue in here. And then stick this in here. There we go. Shiny side up. Got glue everywhere. All right. So we'll do the same thing with this. We'll stick our eyeball we're not going to stick our eyeball. It's not going to stick. But we're going to stick the glue in there. And we'll stick our eyeball in there. Is it gonna, because it looks kind of like eyelashes. Okay, here we go. Okay, were I to do this again, one, I would watch the video to see how they do it, because this is a little more complicated than I gave them credit for. And two, I would wrap these so that I knew the eyeball was going to fit in there. Because right now it's looking like it's a little too small, but I can make it look like he's just blinking. All right, so here we go. Just not looking straight out at you. Let's see. Well, when you have lots of trouble, it's always going to be on a live, guaranteed. I didn't do my homework. I looked at the instructions, but I did not think that this would be that complicated. What do you think? Does the eye show up well enough? I think we're just going to have to go with it at this point. Got some glue in there. So it's going to be looking down, or it's going to be looking up. We'll see which way it's going to go. Whew. All right. We're still just on, well, we're on we did step 4. All right. The one thing we haven't done yet was curl these. So I'm just going to use my thumb nail, because like we've talked before, it's just faster for me to use my thumbnail than to use the bone folder. And that's all we need to do, is just curl up those edges. Like that. That looks so much better than a flat flower, right? Who wants a flat flower? No flowers are so flat. They all have some sort of curl or twist to them. All right, so, okay, let's move on. Let's see if we can get this hat made. We're already at 48 minutes. I didn't figure it would take that long. All right, so now we have our gauze that we're going to be putting down. So let's bring our hat in. And we'll move this back over to the side. Let's bring back that crazy hat. Yes, maybe the gauze will help keep it down. All right, so we're going to tie some gauze around here. Let's see. And of course, it's not stringy, so I mean, it's not pretty. So, but it's a witch's hat, so it's not supposed to be pretty, you know, and clean, and it's got to have the strings, because that kind of helps make it. So how do they have it? Do they just have it wrapped around? Oh, see here, there's some wire. So good thing we did cut off some wire. It's not showing any wire cut. Let's see, is there any more wire? So there's wire here to hold the cards. And that's it for the wire. All right, so we're going to hold this down. Which one? All right, hold on. I'm trying to figure out. I want this to go around here a little tighter. There we go. So this can be decoration or this can be for wearing. All right, so I trust that you have kind of figured that part out, that it can be for wearing or it can be for decoration or a combination. Like I'll use mine for decoration, and then on Halloween night when I'm handing out candy, I will wear it. All right, so I'm tying this. It doesn't show whether or not to tie it, but I am tying it. My goodness, this is not going as smooth as I would have thought. It doesn't show them tying it. It just shows them. These instructions are not as clear, but I imagine this would be something that would be hard to have clear instructions for without having words. So if I put this down here like this, because then you could use this for some other project. So if I do that and I cut it and don't get all tangled up with it, okay, so some of these strings bother me, so I'm pulling some of them off, all the really loose ones. I'm pulling that off, and I'm going to put some hot glue right there to kind of glue it down. And then some more right here to glue this part down. Okay, that way it is down. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. All right, so mine is not perfectly flat the way they've got theirs. And it's covering some of this. And I'm kind of trying to curl this back then around it. Maybe I straightened it too much. So I want this to stay standing upright, but this one, maybe once the cards are on it. So where is that extra wire? Here it is. So I just need a small piece. I just need a small piece of the wire, and we're going to curl it. They're showing it here. You curl it into some circles. So and like that. So curl it some more. You could probably use a pen and curl it around that as well. So we're gonna curl it this way. Okay, girls, now you know why I do, let's see, they have 3 circles. Why I do more paper crafting nowadays than I do other art. All right, let's see. Okay. I trust this doesn't make you not want this cute hat. It just means watch the video and watch what June does to fumble with it, and then you can do it better than June. This is what happens when you don't watch the video. That's what we'll say. This is what happens when you don't watch the video from Stampin' Up on how to do this. All right, so let's see. So they have the 3, and then they stuck the 3 cards in there. So the cat goes in front, and then this one goes in back. This one goes here like this. Or maybe it was just supposed to be like this. No, it looks like, there we go, like that. So this one is behind there. All right. And then you put some glue on it. I guess they've got that going this way. Glue goes on the back all along there, and then that gets stuck. We're going to put it over here. See if that can be right there. Okay, so I'm going to go from the inside like that. All right, so that kind of helps hold this one wire down, because I've kind of got it sitting on top of it. All right, like that. All right, and then we've got our 3 pieces of ribbon that they have folded. So they folded them in half, and then they hooked them. Did they hook them in there? Yeah, they must have hooked them in there. So they have them hooked in here. So I think you're going to have to go one at a time. Let's see. I don't know how they expect you to get 3 of them in there. All right, this is interesting, I think, because they're long. I'm going to change it up, and I'm going to hook them on the ends. Oh, here we go. Hook it. All right, hook through there. There we go. There's one hook. There's the second one hooked. And here is the third one hooked. There we go. There we go. 3, nope, it was on there. Okay. Nope. Not sure why this one is not staying hooked. Maybe we should take the lace one off. We'll put this one on first. There we go. And then we'll put the lace one on, because that one has all the easy holes to hook into. Like that. We've got them all here. like that. And then we're going to put them through, because we have this stick pin here. This is a very old-fashioned style of stick pin. So you're going to put that through the hat and back, and then bring it back over here like that. And then you're going to put this on that end piece so that you don't poke yourself with it. We used to wear these on our clothes. I haven't seen one of these, well, since I went digging in my jewelry box. They're a little slick. All right, so we're going to stick this right back here on the pin. There we go. What happened? There we go. All right, so now, all right, I'm just going to glue that in. It doesn't seem to want to stay. All right, here we go. And glue that in there. All right. Yeah, June's having a rough life today. All right, so then we're going to stick the spider. Is it on both sides? Nope. One spider on this other stick pin. So one of the spiders goes on this stick pin, just like that. Oh, not with a... Wow, June, you are... Oh, well, it's there now. It was supposed to be with a glue dot, with a dimensional. Then we're going to put dimensionals on the back of this. All right, so June's doing a whole bunch of things that you shouldn't do. All right, so you take your purple 31 and put your dimensionals on here. And this is the live of what not to do. We're going to put this right here. And we're going to stick our spider. Where's our spider? We're going to stick our spider through here. Through here, like this. Not sure what good that did. All right, here we go. There we go. There's our spider. See, I'm not sure I understand what the point of that was. I think it was supposed to just be under there. There we go. And it goes over here with, oh, so now we're going to take these and we're going to do them every other. So mountain valley, so a fan fold. Just like that. fan fold, and our spider web is going to go on that. All right, so there's that one. So we have to do the other one, and they're going to get glued together. So I'm going to hold that in one hand while I do the Valley, Mountain, Valley on this one. There we go. So all the paint dried just fine. It was actually pretty quick, but I also didn't have it on there super thick. There we go. All right, so we have our Mountain, Valley, Mountain. We're going to glue these together like this. Okay, and I'm going to use my glue instead of my glue gun. So we're going to glue those together and smush them together like that. All right. So I'm just going to hold it there like that for a little while, and then we're going to glue these other edges, and it's going to make like a pinwheel. And then we're going to be putting the spider web on top of it. All right, and our other spider, and we're going to be putting our stars. Where's our other spider going? There's one spider. Oh, let's look at the hat picture. I guess maybe the spiders were supposed to go on top of each other after all. Well, maybe the spiders are supposed to go back to back. All right, so that we are going to need some more glue for. So there's some hot glue for that, and put it back to back. And it looks like he's got more legs than he does. Here we go. There we go. And then I think in here on the body, I'm just going to quickly put a little bit of glue. There we go. There we go. We're just pinching him together. All right, so now we're going to glue this one together like this. And then we glue the center. So we're just gonna glue this one and this one like that. And of course you have this big opening, but when you turn it sideways, then you're going to be using the black circle, and we'll use the black circle on both sides to make it a pinwheel like that. Okay, so yeah, I've never been good at the pinwheel thing, so we're going to put glue on here. Trying to get my hands out of the way because we know we don't want to burn ourselves. So we'll there we go. Let's do that. It's hot. All right, and then we want to do the other side as well. We need a new glue stick. Here we go. And then we'll put this one on, and this holds it all together. Ouch. Hot. Hot, hot, hot. Oh. That's still hot. All right. Whew. Thank goodness for long nails, because you can do that. So here we have our pinwheel. All right, and then our spider web is going to get glued on to the pinwheel like that. All right, so going to do that with our spider web and glue it onto pinwheel. There we go. Okay, so we're almost done. Last couple steps. So we have our pinwheel and spider web done and glued together. Then we're going to glue it onto the hat over here. And then we have our stars. While this cools, we're going to start working on our stars. We're going to do our stars back to back with each other using these thingies, the dimensionals. So I'm going to put dimensionals on here. So on the little ones, we're doing a dimensional here. That's not going to fit. All right, so they're saying use 2 dimensionals on the stars. Those are not going to fit. You're going to have to cut your dimensional paper like this to get it to fit. Like that. All right, here we go. And then like that. And those are going to go on the wire. So we'll take one of these and one of these, and we're going to put them back to back up here on the wire. Like that. All right, so here we go. There's that one. And then the next one, so it's the 2 smaller ones. and then the larger one. There we go. Like that. And then the third one is the large star. And it's going to be right here. Like that. Okay. Then we're going to take our let's see. I don't understand this. I'm not getting why that's that way. Unless it was supposed to be poked through. It's not showing it as poked through. And it's not showing the bottom of it here either. So I'm not sure I understand the reason for this. All right. So then this is going to go over here onto the hat. So let's see. So this goes here. We need glue right there. And I'm going to put my hand up underneath, and maybe we'll do some here too. So that it sticks. And we're going to go ahead and, oops, let's make sure we do it the right way. We're going to have it like this. So I can feel the heat through, so I know I've got it. And then you can always add glue on the sides if you want. Okay. So we have our cards and our 31 with our spider web. And we have all of these, which, okay, I told you it was supposed to be messy, but this is just bothering me. Okay, now it can be kind of webby. All right, and then we have our flowers. So we have this first one, which is supposed to go right up here. All right, so this is really not a hat that you will take apart later on. It's one it's pretty much together. Because that's going to go right there on the end of those cards. I keep noticing that I think I'm going to adhere those cards together because they keep moving. Okay. All right, and then these one's going to go here. Like that. This one curl in. And then one is going to go over here. Whew, we've made it. We made it. We made it. I think I'd be inclined to add something over here on this side versus having everything on this side. All right, so let's go ahead and show the final product. Here we go. Nope, wrong way. So there's everything. All right, it would kind of be on the side of you. Oh, there's all those strings. So I would be, like I said, I would be inclined, I think we've got it, I think I've got it kind of the wrong way. So I would be inclined to do something where I would do more around the whole hat versus just this side. Okay, so you could have it like that and have these hanging down in front. That's a possibility too, instead of in the back. Or you could move that. I don't think we had glued that in. I don't think that got glued in. So you could probably move that, move those to this other side of the hat. Let's see, where's that pin? I'd have to look for that pin. Oh, no, I did glue it because I glued that ribbon in because it didn't want to stay hooked up. But you could, we have lots of other Halloween stuff that you could totally add some more decorations to this side of the hat. I'll let you know how I end up doing it. This is glue, and the cool thing with the glue gun, when you have all those strings, it kind of looks just like spider web stuff, right? So there is our cool hat. I recommend you watch that video just to make sure. Even though I've already made it, I'm going to go back and watch the video and see how did they do it? What did I actually do wrong? Because this was a definite, oops, June kind of goofed this one up. But in the end, it's still a hat I can wear. It just was a lot more trouble than I thought it might be. So I don't want to deter you from wearing it. I would also be inclined to stick something up in here, some tissue paper, to keep this hat full. All right, so cute hat, cute, cute. Still love it, even though it was more work than I thought it would be. So if you're hanging out until the end of this video, thank you. If you fast forwarded, thank you. You didn't have to watch all my bloopers and errors because some days just happen to be like that. And there's not a whole lot you can do. Yes, I could have watched the video. I will admit that. I should have watched the video. And on complicated kits in the future, I will definitely watch the video. It just didn't look that complicated. And in the end, it was really just fussing with the wire. So that's really the only part that I need to double check is how did they do the wire? I still have some leftover wire. And I still have some leftover of the corrugated of the stars. If you have smaller star die cuts, you could even cut out some of these here and put those on the hat as well. So I'm going to go see what I have that I can use to add to this hat because I think it needs a little bit more. Let me know what you do with your hat, and please tell me that I did not scare you away from this hat project, because it's not something to be afraid of. I just needed to watch the video first because that wire turned out to be way more confusing than anything else. So take care, and I will see you on Thursday for Junebug's Creative Crush. Have a good one. Bye-bye.